Hey guys, good morning and thanks for joining. So in the last class, we discussed about a couple of definitions. Those definitions are what is EPS, what is SIEM tool licensing, and what is SIEM tool. And also we discussed about what is alert, what is incident, what is log, and what is event, and so on. From there, we can continue. So it will take another 3 to 4 classes to complete all these theoretical part. Okay, let's go and discuss where we stopped yesterday. So next topic is log types. So what is meant by log type here? As I said, log itself. So log is nothing but any action or activity is doing by any asset or any user or any endpoint or any database or server. So that action or activity we can represent using the recorded activity. So that recorded activity we can call it as log. Now we have different types of log types in the data source perspective. Those log types for every data source or log source it will maintain mainly 4 different types of the log types. Those types are, first one is security or audit. What is meant by this security or audit related log types? Nothing but here always it will explain about in the endpoint level or in the network level or in the application level or in the cloud level or in the infrastructure level or server level or database level. What is the success and what is the failure? Whenever something we are representing using the success or failure login attempt is called as the audit related logs. Okay, that may be for our security devices, that may be our for endpoints, that may be for our servers, our databases, our applications, and so on. So those logs we can call it as audit related logs or security related logs. So example here, login failure or login success. So second one is application related logs. What are applications end user is trying to access? That may be our on-premise application, our internal application, our internet-facing application, or maybe cloud-based application or SaaS-based application. So those applications is applicable to both on-premise and cloud. So that is application-oriented logs. So it is applicable to both on-premise and also cloud applications. So third one is it is belongs to system. So when you say system, this is also called a performance-oriented logs. So whatever utilization part for any system you can consider, take example of your laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop or your mobile or your server or database or application or cloud instance for everything. So whenever we are referring the system, that is nothing but our performance related logs. That may bandwidth utilization or CPU utilization or RAM utilization. Whatever we define the baseline, it is crossing that one. That one we have to consider as abnormal activity. Automatically alert has to trigger. So those logs we can call it as a system or performance related logs. So nothing but here utilization related logs. That utilization may be or bandwidth utilization or CPU utilization or RAM utilization extra. So last one is setup related logs. So the setup related logs also we can call it as a configuration related logs. So what is mean by this one here? Whenever you want to install one of the software, that software may be example take our Wireshark tool or maybe Nmap tool or maybe one of the Nessus tool. It's a piece of the software file. Or maybe you are downloading one of the file or uploading one of the file or modifying one of the file, changing your something, configuring something or updating something. So those logs will fall under the configuration. Most of the cases, these configuration related logs contains the local administrator in case it is endpoint, And also in case the server side admin status, in case Unix side, we can say sudo or root level of the users have these configuration related logs. That is one of the scenario. A second scenario, maybe you want to deploy one of the EDR tool from the scratch. You want to implement and you have to do the configuration. So that is also we can call it a setup or configuration oriented logs. So third one, maybe example, you are configuring one of the firewall, or maybe you are configuring one of the proxy, or maybe DLP. So something you are modifying or updating or changing the existing configurations, we can call it configuration related logs. So why we have to monitor this one? Because whenever any attacker is trying to do the compromise, first and foremost, he will get the user level of the access. From there, he will get the root level of the access. That one we can call it as a privilege escalation attack. And once he will get the privilege escalation attack, then he can go and he can delete the existing files, or maybe he can modify the files, or maybe he can create the new files or create the new accounts and so on. So all those configuration, all those functionalities or activities or actions, we can call it a configuration oriented logs. So every data source will generate, these are all the four different types of the logs. It's a mandatory. So that may be your laptop, that may be your MacBook or workstation or desktop or firewall or proxy, or maybe our server or database or application or cloud instance. Any data source or any log source. So it will generate the logs. Okay, these are all the four different types of the logs. But additionally, from one log source to another log source or one data source to another data source, here and there, little bit modification will be changed. And according to that one, we can go and we can provide additional logs types also. What is mean by that one? I will go and I'll explain that one later. Now, so far you can remember. So these are all the four different types of the logs. For example, maybe if I want to see practically, if I want to show practically in my system, then what I have to do? I can go to event viewer and I can click on the event viewer. So right now I'm using my laptop, and in my laptop, what are the different types of logs are generating? I can show that one. You can go to Windows logs here, and you can see here there are four different types of the logs. One is called application oriented logs. Second one is security oriented logs. Third one is setup related logs, nothing but configuration oriented. Next one is system related logs, nothing but these are all the performance oriented logs. Finally, forwarded events. Forward events we can consider as a firewall related logs, that we can ignore it. But these are all the four different types of the logs. So in my system, there are four different types of the logs. But in case if you're considering about EDR, that is also one of the log source. In case if it is a firewall, that is also one of the log source. Or maybe one of the cloud application, that is also one of the log source. So, but by default, what I want to say here, by default, if you know the answer or if you don't know the answer, at the time of the interview, if someone will ask, what are the different types of logs will be generated by EDR? What are the different types of logs will be generated by or firewall? Or what are the different types of logs will be generated by server? Or what are the different types of logs will be generated database? By default, without knowing the answer or with knowing the answer, you can say these four are common. If you know the answer or if you don't know the answer, by default, you can say these four. But additionally, based on the function and based on the feature wise, maybe one or two different types of the logs will be added. For example, maybe if I want to go and if I want to explain about one more practical scenario, take example of EDR or antivirus. So EDR and antivirus, what is the functionality of the antivirus? Virus is an attack and antivirus is a solution. Then what is EDR? EDR also prevent all malware category of the attacks. Now at the time of the interview, if someone will ask what are the different types of the log source or logs will be generated by EDR or antivirus tool, by default, you can say all these four. Additionally, you have to say malware category of the logs. So that may be virus or worm or Trojan or ransomware or botnet, logic bomb or rootkit or lolbeans or keyloggers and so on. Okay, maybe for example, at the time of the interview, maybe they are expecting what are the different types of logs are generated by WAF. WAF is nothing but web application firewall logs. today interview question. Okay. Web application firewall related logs. What are the different logs are generated web application firewall? As I said, by default, these four are common. It will not change. Additionally, what is the functionality of the WAF? WAF is nothing but it will prevent and block all WASP top 10 category of the attacks, or as per OSA layer, it is a layer 7 attacks. That is also called application layer 7 attacks. So now additionally, what is the functionality of the WAF? It will provide WASP top 10 category of the logs. That means you should aware of the each and every log source and data source functionality or feature, then only you can give the answer. If you don't know about the functionality and feature of the log source or data source, obviously will give the wrong answer. So maybe you can take one more example is DLP. So data loss or data leak prevention. The data loss or data leak prevention may be through pen drives or removable devices or peripheral devices, or maybe through our email, or maybe through websites, or maybe through cloud-based applications. In case the data is breaching, now what are the different types of logs will be generated by this DLP? So first four are common as it is, as I said. And additionally, what is the functionality of the DLP? It will prevent and block all data loss or data leak. So nothing but data exfiltration or data breach logs. Data loss or data exfiltration or data breach related logs. So this is the way how you can give the answer. Okay. So please remember this concept, because once you are going to the our investigation side, you should be aware of these basic functionality also. Because whenever any security incident is triggered, first and foremost, you should identify the what is the log source and what is the data source, through which log source and which data source these logs are integrated to SIEM tool, and finally based on what is the logic or condition or algorithm or Boolean algebra function whatever we defined, it was hitting and it was generating the alert notification. Okay. So if you don't know about these data source and log source, obviously we'll do mistake in the at the time of the investigation. So that is the reason you should be aware of the each and every log source functionality or our security tool functionality, and also what are the different types of devices or log sources every organization is maintaining. Okay. But as I said, if you know the answer or if you don't know the answer, whenever someone will ask at the time of the interview, what is, for example, server related logs? What are the different server related logs are generated by Windows Server? By default, you can say all the four. Additionally, it will not generate any of the any of the logs. Same thing is applicable to our Unix as well. Even it is applicable to cloud also. So this is the way how you can give the answer. So what you want to remember? You have to remember all these four different types of the log types. Now, so here I will keep DLP log types, WAP log types, antivirus or EDR or XDR log types. And this is one generic one. In generic log types are now log format types. Please remember, log type is different and log format is different. Log format is in the form of the different types of the raw logs. Whatever log is generating in our systems or in our data source, in our log source, we can call it raw log, RAW raw. So that raw log will not be understood by our SIEM tool. So that raw log can be converted into SIEM understandable format. So that SIEM understandable format, we can call it a parsing. Okay, whatever logs are generating for firewall or proxy or Windows servers or Unix servers or other applications or cloud environment or laptop or MacBook or workstation or router or switch or DLP or EDR and so on, they will not understand. SIEM tool will not understand. Those are all raw logs. So those raw logs can be converted into SIEM understandable format. So that format we can call it as a, so we can call parsing or normalization part that we can discuss later. Now log format types are, So very popular log format is syslog. Syslog is very popular. Most of the network and security related logs will support syslog. Second one is BSD. BSD is one of the log format. And also we do have the XML is one of the log format. And CSV is one of the log format. And DLL is one of the log format. Okay, these are all the couple of very famous log formats. Syslog is 90, almost I can say out of 100 devices we do have in the organization side. Around 80% of the log source types it will support syslog. Remaining 20% maybe it will not support. Those log formats we have to understand. But it will support some other format. There is no need to worry. So this is the way different types of log formats also. These log formats our SIEM will not understand. These log format is called as raw log formats. So this one we can call it as a raw log formats. So this one now SIEM tool what it will do, it will convert to understanding and also readable and writable, and finally user also can read it and write it. That format is called as normalization of the log or parsing of the log. That anyways I'm going to discuss within 10 to 15 minutes. So these are the log format types. Next one. So very important topic now, data source or log source. What is this data source and log source now? Interview question this one. First of all, what is data source and what is log source? As per yesterday our class, what is the definition of the SIEM tool? SIEM tool we discussed about log collection. Where it will collect the logs? It will collect from the different types of the data source or log source. First of all, what is log source or what is data source? Wherever the logs are originating or wherever the logs are generating. For example, maybe in my system where the logs are generating, it is generating under the event viewer. All these logs now I have to send it to SIEM tool. How we can send it that we can discuss later. Now this is one of the location where the logs are generating. Okay. Now in the similar way, each and every log source it will generate the logs. So log source is nothing but originating of the logs or generating of the logs. That is called log source. Origin of the logs are sources of the logs where the logs are generating. So that is called log source and data source. Now, wherever the logs are generating, all those logs now we have to go and we have to integrate it to SIEM tool. For example, if I want to give one of the practical example, as I said, Windows endpoint. Windows endpoint, where can we see the logs? We can see under the event viewer. Okay. And second one, where can we see logs under the Linux server? We can see under the /var /log /httpd. HTTP is nothing but our application hypertext transfer protocol. So that is one of the path. And also second path is comma /var /log star. Whenever we are referring the star, it is nothing but all the logs are generating in the any data source or log source. Or /var /log /sshd. So SSH why we can use to log into the any Unix operating system. So that may be Red Hat Enterprise Linux or CentOS or Docker or Kubuntu and so on. This concept we discussed long back when we discussed about our SSH and SSL and TLS. So now SSHD meaning here security audit related logs now. So log star is nothing but all the logs. Log SSHD it is belongs to our audit related logs. HTTPD it is belongs to our application oriented logs. Next one /var /log /system. All these performance oriented logs. Now in this location under the Linux server, these logs we can integrate it to SIEM tool. How to integrate that one we can discuss in the tomorrow class. So this is the way wherever the logs are generating, all these logs now we have to send it to our SIEM tool. So that is called first one is log collection. That is what SIEM tool now. What is SIEM tool first definition? Log collection. Wherever the logs are generating from those log sources or data sources, now we have to integrate it to SIEM tool or we have to send it to the SIEM tool. How we can send it? We can send it either push mechanism or pull mechanism. Okay, so second one is entire equation. Okay, so now what are the different types of the data source or log sources we do have? Types of data sources or log sources. What are the different types of devices it will generate the logs? So for this one, I can go and I can divide this one into maybe 5 types or 6 types, or maybe otherwise I can say in simple way, firewall, proxy, NADS, NAPS, EDR, DLP, encryption, Active Directory, domain controller, web server, Windows servers, Linux servers, database servers, SMTP server, email gateway, file server. Next one is XDR, web application firewall, all endpoints. When you say endpoints, you know already what are the different as endpoints we do have, like laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktops. All these are endpoints. In this similar, if you want to monitor mobile also, mobile related logs, then application related logs, then proxy related log, proxy are given already. So vulnerability management related logs, VM logs, then cloud related logs, routers, switches, extra. So all these are different types of the data sources or log sources. This is also one of the entire question. How many log sources logs are integrated to SIEM tool? How many data sources are integrated to SIEM tool? How many log sources are integrated to SIEM tool in your project, in your customer, or in your client, or in your organization? You can say 100 or 200 or 300 or 1000 or 2000. So for example, maybe in my organization, 10,000 employees are there. All those 10,000 employees, they will use either laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop. Now, all these are like, you can consider either 10,000 endpoints like a single log source, or maybe you can say 10,000 log sources. It is up to you. Second one, maybe in my organization, I'm using. So these are all endpoints like laptop or MacBook and workstation desktops. And in my organization, I'm using 50 routers. Now 50 routers, I'll keep like one log source. So now 50 routers. So in my organization, I'm using only one EDR tool, nothing but it will prevent and block all malware category of the attack. So this is for antivirus, only one. It's for antivirus or EDR. Now this is the way total overall how much count it will come. Those many count you have to give the answer. For example, maybe you are the interviewer now, and I'm sorry, you are in the interview panel and you are asking me in your organization how many log sources are there? RK. In that scenario, I can go and I can say in my organization, I do have around 180 log sources or data sources. Then maybe you can ask back only 180 log sources are there in your organization. Yes, all the endpoints I consider as a single log source. All the servers I consider as single log source. All the routers are I consider single log source because all are unique in nature. Maybe you can give in my organization, I integrate 20,000 log sources. 10,000 are endpoints, remaining 10,000 are all the routers, all the switches, all the load balancer, all the applications. So then all the endpoints and so on. So this is the way how you have to ask back or how you have to give the answer back. Okay. So now, so this is very, very popular interview question, guys. What is log source and what is data source, and what are the different types of the data source and log source are integrated to SIEM tool? And I will write the interview question as well. How many log sources or data sources are integrated to SIEM tool in your organization? You can say example 10,500. 10,000 are endpoints, remaining 500 are 200 are servers, remaining 300 are routers and switches, printers, load balancer, EDR, DLP, encryption, firewall, proxy, and so on. Otherwise, you can say only 150. Or maybe you can say only 150. So out of 150, all endpoints are considered as a one log source. All the servers are considered as a one log source. All the databases are considered as a one log source, like a unique log sources. It is up to you whether you want to say about 150 or maybe whether you want to say about 200, whether you want to say about 10,500, that's fine. Nobody will ask back. But these are all the different types of log sources names you have to remember. Okay, it's a compulsory favorite interview question. So now, now you know about what is log source and what is data source. Now these log sources logs we have to integrate it to SIEM tool. What are log sources we discussed about firewall or proxy or IDS or APS or EDR or servers or endpoints and databases or applications and cloud instances, everything. Now where we have to integrate or where we have to send it, we have to send it to SIEM tool. That process we can call it as log collection. Okay. So before going to the log integration methods, now as per yesterday discussion, I have to explain about how GB per day can be calculated. Even though you will not do this one, but you should understand what is the backend process. Yesterday what we discussed. So SIM2 licensing. What is SIM2 licensing? I told you. So I discussed about SIM2 licensing is depending on the, so there are two different types of parameters. One parameter is called as total number of the end users and second parameter is called as GB per day. So how the solution architect or security architect or maybe our vendor, they can go and they can calculate how much GB per day it is generating. So for you, it is not required, but I will explain how normally they will calculate. If you want to, okay, so calculate GB per day, first and foremost, you need about these log source information. If you don't know about the log source information or data source information, obviously you will do mistake. Even you are working for client. For example, maybe yesterday itself I said, so maybe you are working for TCS or Infosys or Wipro. Maybe your client is belongs to HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank or State Bank of India. In that scenario, now you want to propose one of the solution to ICICI Bank or State Bank of India or HDFC Bank. Now maybe you are architect, maybe you are solution architect or security architect or solution architect. In that scenario, you should ask to State Bank of India, you should ask to HDFC Bank, or you should ask ICICI Bank, how many data sources are there, log sources are there. Please provide that information. If you don't ask that one, how we can go and we can calculate? Okay, so this is the way. First, we need requirement. Without knowing the requirement, how can I provide the solution? Without knowing the problem, how can I provide the solution for that one? If I know the problem, then only I can provide the solution. If I know the requirement, then only I can provide the solution for that one. Okay, same concept here as well. If I know about all the log sources are there, then I can go and I can do the designing, and also I can go and I can do the calculation of the storage, how much storage it is required, how much retention policy it is required. So how much space is required to store all those logs. Now we are going to discuss about all this now. For this one, I will create one of the table or tabular format. How to calculate GB per day. So everything is based on the completely hypothesis based only. It's like imagination. It's like assumption. Assumption is correct word. Hypothesis or assumption only. It's like a context. It is not exactly same as it is whatever we are calculating exactly it's correct or right or wrong. Okay. Now for this one, as is mentioned, I'll create one of the tabular format, serial number, log source name. This is also called data source name. Next one is number of devices count, total number of devices, otherwise number of devices count, and EPS count events per second, and total number of EPS. If you want to calculate GB per day, we need this particular EPS count. So for this one, so let's go and do one by one. First one is take example of Windows Server. So Windows Server is one of the log source or data source. Those logs also we have to integrate it to our SIEM tool. Now number of devices count. How many Windows servers we do have? So maybe Windows servers we have approximate 100 Windows servers are there in the organization and State Bank of India. So total number of the device count is 100. One server EPS count or one device EPS count. One device EPS count. Now you can ask State Bank of India for one Windows server, how many logs are generating? How much EPS count it is generating? Do you think that State Bank of India it will provide about by speaking with the Windows servers team exact count? Not at all. Even they are not sure. If we are going and asking Windows team also, they are not sure exactly how much of EPS count per second, how many events are generating. That's the reason I said it's like an assumption. It is like hypothesis. So it is like imagination. So for this one, we can go and we can use security based practices. And these architects or solution architect or security architects, according to couple of websites, they can go and they can see what is the assumptions or based on security based practices they will do. So for example, one device EPS count, one server EPS count, maybe 50. Now how many servers we do have? Total 100 servers. 100 into 50. Total how much it will come? 100 into one server is 50, 100 servers. So 5000. 5000 EPS count, it's for the 100 servers. Okay. So now total EPS count is 5000. So that is about servers part. In the similar way, take example of all endpoints. So nothing but our laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop. LT means laptop and MacBook, workstation or desktop. In our organization, maybe 20,000 employees are there in the organization side. So each and every log source or data source are generating maybe zero 0.5 logs or maybe one log you can consider. Then total number of the logs here 20,000. So here 20,000. So now take example third one is firewall. So firewall in our organization, we have 4 firewalls, and each and every firewall it is generating 50 events per second. So 4 into 50 equals to 200. So here 200. So 4 firewalls, each firewall it is generating 50 events per second, total 200. Okay. Now in the similar way, EDR tool. So we have only one EDR tool or antivirus or XDR tool, and it is generating 100 events per second. So it's 100. This is the way. Now how many overall data sources and log sources are there in the State Bank of India? You have to gather all the requirement from the client or customer. Now you should calculate same as it is, and you can make sure that how much total number of the EPS count it is generating. Okay, example maybe 20,000, that 25,000, or maybe 30,000. So this for 1 year. This is per second. This per second these many logs are generating. Now for second 30,000 logs are generating. Now on top of this one, we have to add buffer also. This is not sufficient. What is buffer here? For example, maybe you want to purchase one of the mobile, or maybe one of the laptop, or one of the MacBook. Do you think that for 1 year only you will go and you will purchase whatever sufficient hard disk or maybe memory it is required, and every year you can go and you can change it, your laptop or mobile? Not exactly. So you can keep consideration or forecast maybe 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Maybe after 5 years, I want to change my laptop, or maybe after 3 years, I want to change my mobile. So forecasting here 3 years. So total 3 years you'll keep in mind, or total 5 years you'll keep in mind. According to this, for 3 years and 5 years, how much space is required? Whether the 500 GB is required, or 250 GB is sufficient, or 1 TB space is required. Now how you can go and you can purchase either mobile or laptop by forecasting the another either 3 years or 5 years, keep in the mind. Same as it is here also, we have to think about the total 5 years, because every year I can't go and I can change the our SIM solution. So that is the reason whenever you want to purchase any solution, you have to make sure that it should be used for at least 3 years, or maybe it can be used for 5 years. Now this one, once again, whatever EPS count we are calculating, it's like an assumption. I said already, it is like imagination, it is like a hypothesis. It's not exact count, it is not real count. Maybe you purchased already and you deployed SIM tool, suddenly logs are increased or events are increased. But SIM tool has to collect all the logs. If the SIM tool is not able to collect the logs, our security instance will be missed out. If the security instance are missed out, our systems will get compromised. That is the reason what we have to do. Whatever total EPS count it has come to us, on top of the total EPS count, you have to add additionally 30% or 40% buffer. Okay, maybe. So this is for 2025. Total number of SBI account 2025. Total EPS count for SBI equals to 30,000. Now, as I said, you can add on top of this 30,000 additionally 30%. So now 2025 EPS count for SBI 30,000. It's actual count, whatever we got. But buffer you can add because we are not sure. Maybe suddenly after deploying the SIM tool, either the EPS count will increase or maybe it will be reduced. If we are reducing, that's fine. It's fine, well and good. If it is increased, then we are in dangerous position. Now, 30% you can add 30% of total EPS count. Now simple maths or simple math. So now 30,000 plus 30% of 30,000, it's equivalent to 9,000. So that is equivalent to 39,000. So that is the overall EPS count for the 2025 in State Bank of India. Why we are adding this 30% buffer or 40% buffer? Because maybe after deploying, even our EPS count will be reduced. We are in the safer side because we are taking like assumption as I said. So this is the actual count for 2025. In the similar way, total I need, or maybe total State Bank of India need for total 3 years SIM tool 2025, 2026, and 2027. Now this for 2025. Do you think that every year our laptops and MacBooks and workstations and databases and application count is same as it is? Whether it will reduce or it will increase? Obviously it will increase because business is growing like anything. Horizontal and vertical growth you have to consider. Maybe right now in State Bank of India, 250,000 employees are there. Maybe by 2026 they will reach to 3 lakhs. Do you think that in 2026 also same EPS count will increase? There same EPS count will be generated? Not exactly. So once again, because the employees count is increasing, our application count will increase. So because every employee will provide the laptop, he will do actions or activity, and logs will be generated on the back end. And also applications count will be increased. Application usage will be increased. Database usage will be increased. Backend logs will be generated. So that is the reason you have to keep in mind stating that each and every year you have to add 30%. This is not only first on single year. So now if you want to make sure that in 2026 EPS count for State Bank of India, whatever you received or whatever count it has come 39,000. 39,000 plus 30% of 39,000. So now how much it will come this one? Okay. So that one you have to keep in mind. So it will come 39,000 plus 30% of 39,000, that is equivalent to 11,000 to 11,12700. Yeah, 11,270. So that will equivalent to approximate 40,270. So that is on the 2026. In the 2026, our count is equivalent to 40,270. In the similar way, in the 2027, EPS count for State Bank of India equivalents to once again whatever 40,270 it has come, and you have to add 30% of 40,270. So that may be approximate 45,000. So I'm giving approximate value only. So this is the overall EPS count. Now, whatever 3 years. So this is for 2025, this is for 2026, and this is for 2027. Sir, 2027 and 2027, and SBI Bank is required 45,000 EPS count. Now you should not keep 39,000 in your mind whenever you are doing the designing part, whenever you are doing the solutioning part. You have to keep 45,000 in your mind. Same concept as I said, how you are purchasing your mobile or how you are purchasing your laptop, same concept here as well. How you are keeping forecast for 3 years or 5 years, you will keep in mind how much space is required, how much performance is required, how much bandwidth is required. Same concept is applicable to here as well. So now State Bank of India is required 45,000 EPS count for 2027. Now I can go and I can validate different types of the SIM tool vendors as per Gartner report. That may be our Splunk, IBM QRadar, Exabeam, Sentinel from Azure, or Security Hub from Amazon Web Services, or Chronicle from Google, or maybe Exabeam, or RSA, and so on. So now whatever is fitting into our State Bank of India, I can go and I can suggest. So for your requirement, this is the solution I'm providing. For example, I'm providing Azure Sentinel, or maybe I can providing IBM QRadar, or maybe I'm providing Splunk. If they like, they can purchase it. Maybe they can go with Infosys, they can go with TCS, they can go with Cognizant, they can go with Capgemini, wherever and whatever they like the solution. With the cheap and best solution, they're getting the better options, better features. Finally, State Bank of India will give that order to our respective consulting and service based company or implementation partner. So this is the way how the overall process it will work. Okay. Now we got it now 45,000. For this 45,000 per day, how much GB it is required, how much GB it is. Now everything is like a EPS count. We did not count yet. Okay, how much GB per day it is required. If you want to do that now, once again we have to go and we have to use couple of mathematical problems or mathematical calculations or formulas. Okay, let's go and discuss about that one. Total EPS count per second equals to 45,000. Now this per second. Now I need for one day total EPS count per day. So now you know about EPS count per second wise. If you want to convert seconds into day, per day, how many hours we do have? 24 hours. 24 hours, and we know about the only seconds. This solution we know about the seconds. Now if you want to convert these seconds into, day into seconds. So 24 hours, and once again for every hour it has 60 minutes. Once again that 60 minutes has 60 seconds. So 24 into 60 into 60. Per day these many seconds are available per day. Okay. So now we are calculating per day now. Per day, how many seconds we do have? One day seconds equals to 24 into 60 into 60 seconds. These many. So that is equivalent to 86,400 into total number of the seconds. How many we received? 45,000. If we are multiplying these two, 86,400 into 45,000. So how much it will come approximate? So it will come maybe 350000, another two zeros. This much it will come per day. Now you know about per day. Now you want to calculate per year. Total EPS count per year. Now you know about 1 day count how much. Now this one you want to convert it into 1 year. 1 year equivalents to 365 days. So 365 into per day EPS count. That is equivalents to 365 into 350 00000. If you are multiplying this one, so how much it will come? Maybe approximate only. It's not exact count. I am not human calculator. So here I can say maybe 12,000, this much. Okay, now you know about per year, this much count. This is one quantity. This is everything like a quantity. But now what we are calculating here? We are calculating GB, gigabytes per day, or kilobytes per day, or megabytes per day, or picobytes per day, or terabytes per day. So now in the bytes, now whatever we received, it's like a simple quantity. There is no bytes concept. There is no byte at all. Now for that one, what we have to consider, one event equivalents to, you can take either 400 bytes or 500 bytes. couple of vendors they will consider as a 400 bytes, and couple of vendors they'll consider 500 bytes. For example, I will take 500 bytes, one event, because all these are events now. It's like a quantity. Now, total EPS count per year equals to 120000080 zeros into 500, because I'm considering 500 bytes. So this one will come approximate 60, 60, and so on. These many bytes. Now we are in the bytes. So these bytes also not exact count, because everything we have done, this one is assumption. All these are assumption. Now these bytes we are making like a assumption also. This one also once again assumption. This one also assumption. Now you have to make compression ratio. So this is before compression ratio. We have to compress the ratio. We have to compress the data. Otherwise, too much of space is required. Too much of the storage is required. Huge amount of the space or huge amount of the storage is required. So for that one, we have to pay a lot of amount, lot of money. Okay. Now, so this is before compression. Now I will do after compression. Compression ratio. Every vendor will take these compression ratios. Compression ratio you can take either 1:10, or either you can take 1:15, or you can take 1:17, or you can take 1:20. So every vendor they can go and they can use different types of compression ratio. For example, IBM QRadar, they will use 1:10. Splunk they will use 1:15. Exabeam they will use 1:15, and RSA they will use 1:17. Sentinel they will use 1:20, and so on. It depends. Vendor to vendor, this compression ratio will be different. After compression ratio. So now whatever bytes I received, I will copy paste it here, and I will make 1:10. I will take into 1/10. So now how much count it will come? So all these bytes, I will reduce 10. This many bytes are required. So I'll reduce 10, because 1/10 I am reducing 1 byte. So these many bytes now. So now you know already. So now we received total, okay, GB per. So we need, these are all in the bytes. Now if you want to convert these bytes into kilobytes, 1 kilobytes equals to 10 power 3, and 1 gigabytes equals to 1 power 6, 1 terabytes equals to, sorry, 1 megabytes equals to 10 power 6. One gigabytes equals to 10 power 9. One picobytes equals to 10 power 12. Tera equals to 10 power 12. And pico equal 10 power 15. Okay. So now how many zeros are there after 6? You can consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15. So I'll consider even, yeah, I will convert in GB per day. So 10 power 15. So here this one, if I want to convert into bytes 1 GB per day, how much it will come now? So 6 after 6 zeros gigabytes per day. Per day, this much it has come. Okay, so total 15 zeros. So and I converted that one into gigabytes, 10 power 9. Remaining 6 zeros I put it here. Otherwise, if I want to convert this one into picobytes, 6000, sorry, 6 picobytes, 6000 terabytes or 6 picobytes. So I used gigabytes per day and also terabytes per day and picobytes per day, whatever you like. Now for this much amount, for this much we are generating. Per day, this much space is required. Okay. This is not per day, actually this per year. We calculate per year, GB per year. So per year we need 6000 terabytes. Okay. So or otherwise 6 picobytes. This much storage is required. Now that concept we can call retention policy. These 6 picobytes or 6000 terabytes or 6 lakh gigabytes per day, whatever we calculated for State Bank of India, now we need that much storage is required. That storage maybe you can use SAN, storage area network, or NAS, network area storage, or magnetic tapes, or hard disk, or cloud environment, whatever you like. Or otherwise, by default, whatever SIM tool is providing. Every SIM tool nowadays it is providing even inbuilt storage calculation as well. Inbuilt storage devices also. That one we are going to discuss under the SIM tool side. Now, State Bank of India per year, how much space is required to store the logs? They need 6000 terabytes or 6 lakh gigabytes per day or 6 picobytes per year, not per day, sorry, per year. Because we calculate per year. Okay. Now, whatever 6 picobytes or 6000 terabytes or 6K or 6 lakhs gigabytes per year, suitable model number is required. Now I can go and I can suggest or I can ask IBM Curator or IBM company, or I can ask Microsoft Sentinel if I want to choose, or I can go and I can choose HP ArcSight, or I can go and I can choose Splunk, or I can go and I can choose McAfee, or I can go and I can choose RSA and so on. According to the whatever customer is looking for, whether he needs so Sentinel or whether he needs IBM Curator, whether he needs Exabeam or whether he needs HP ArcSight and so on. Maybe finally we have chosen IBM Curator, for example. State Bank of India is required IBM Curator SIM tool. Then we have to go and we have to deploy IBM Curator SIM tool in Mumbai location where the headquarters of the SBI is located. So this is the way how we can go and we can choose the okay. So overall EPS count and overall how to calculate the storage, and these concept can be done by everything done by either vendor, IBM vendor, or maybe solution architect or security architect. He will take care by coordinating and collaborating with State Bank of India and also by coordinating and collaborating with the vendor. Who is the vendor here? IBM Curator. And who is the client here? State Bank of India. And who is the consulting partner? TCS company. So this is the way overall solution can be provided to State Bank of India by TCS company by coordinating and collaborating with the our vendor is IBM. Okay, so this is the overall process how we can go and we can do the solution designing for any customer requirement. That may be any project you can consider irrespective of whether it is a EDR, whether it is a DLP, or whether it is a file integrity monitoring or firewall or proxy or web application firewall, or maybe our SIM tool, or even not only this one, even if you are considering about State Bank of India is required one of the website designs, State Bank of India is required one of the dev apps, the State Bank of India is required couple of servers and so on. This concept is same as it is. That's the reason we discussed about project lifecycle management process long back. Sales team, pre-sales team, design team, implementation team, and operational support team. So right now, whatever I explained, State Bank of India requirement has so to implement SIM tool solution in the Mumbai location of their data center. So they can go and they can contact with Infosys, they can go and they can contact with TCS, they can go and they can contact with Tech Mahindra, they can go and they can contact with some other companies, and finally they will give one of the project to so and so company. So this is the way how the backend process it will work. Once the tool are deployed, now we can go and we can now finally TCS company will start recruiting the candidates. L1 members how many required, or L2 members how many required, or L3 members are how many required. Maybe to monitor these 50,000, 45,000 EPS count, we need 25 members team. Now TCS company will go and it will check in the bench whether 25 members team is available readily. They can go and they can monitor State Bank of India SOC operations, or whether they need to recruit couple of candidates. In case sufficient people are not there in the pool, sufficient people are not there in the bench, and then finally, so TCS will going to start recruiting the couple of candidates in the market. So this is the way how the process it will work. Okay. So this is about overall backend process, how to calculate GB per day. Okay. By the way, you no need to understand about all these. Just for understanding purpose, I explained how this will work. But interview point of there is no single question they can expect from you. Everything can be taken care of with this one is solution architect or security architect. So maybe we can expect only one single question is what is the EPS count? That's all. Or how many log sources are there? Otherwise, you no need to worry about whatever calculation I provided here. This calculation is completely done by whoever has more than 10 plus years of experience, or 12 plus years of experience, 15 plus years of experience. I can say minimum 12 plus years of experiences, he will become like a security architect or solution architect. Okay. So let's go and discuss about now couple of other definitions. Aggregation. So now storage is completed. Now aggregation. Aggregation meaning here, what is aggregate marks? So maybe you study Bachelor of Degree, or maybe you study Bachelor of Engineering, or you study Bachelor of Technology, or maybe Masters of Computer Applications, and so on. What is aggregation marks here? The total sum of the marks for each and every semester. You are combining together, you are adding all the sum, then finally we can get the aggregation marks. Same as it is here also. What is aggregation here? Same concept now you can apply to our SIEM solution. So log collection. Log collection means logs we are integrating, logs we are collecting. From where we are collecting? We are collecting from the different types of the data source and log sources from these places. So collecting of the logs from the different types of the data sources, log source, or maybe collecting the logs from the multiple location. Okay, so that is called aggregation. Collecting of the logs from different types of data sources or log sources or different locations. Why it is different locations? Do you think that State Bank of India is located in only one single location? Don't they have in Hyderabad or Bangalore data centers? Don't they have in New Delhi? Or don't they have in Chennai and so on? So obviously it is where it is available. So now we have to collect the logs from different types of the locations as well. So now collecting the logs from these log sources, whatever State Bank of India have, and also from the different types of the locations, then sending to IBM Curator SIM tool is called as aggregation part. So we are gathering off all the marks to us like a single aggregate marks. Now we are collecting all the logs from the different types of the data sources or log sources. That process we can call it as aggregation part. Next one is querying part. What is query? Query means like asking a question. Example, maybe I am the interview panel. Now I will ask like explain about your roles and responsibility. That is also one type of query. How many years of experience do you have? So that is also question or query. So query meaning here asking the formal way of the question is called as querying part. Asking the question in the formal way is called as query. Now in the SIM tool perspective, what is querying part here? Whenever if you want to deep dive into the investigation or drill down into the investigation part, we can use querying part. We will receive the regularly security instance or alerts. That's fine, but that is not sufficient. Couple of times, whatever alert is triggered, couple of times in the instant we cannot see entire information. If you don't see the entire information of the tracing of the incident, then how can you do the investigation? If you have the partial information only you have with you, then how can you do the investigation? You'll end up with the wrong incident investigation, wrong way of the investigation doing part. To make sure that, so if you want to drill down in-depth analysis, if you want to the full depth analysis side, or drill down into the complete analysis without missing anything. So that is called querying part. Okay. For deeper investigations, drill down of security incident investigations, for writing the correlation rules, and for doing threat hunting, we can use querying. For these are the different ways why we have to do querying part. For deeper investigation, one part. For analyzing the incident is one part. The drill down of the incident investigation is one part. For creating the correlation rule that I will discuss in the tomorrow class. And also to do the threat hunting purpose. But whether all the vendors are supporting this querying concept? Not exactly. So different vendors, they can use different types of query languages here. Vendor and query language name. For example, IBM QRadar. What is the query language they will use? AQL, ARL query language. And the second one is Splunk. Second, it will use one more language also, PGSQL, Postgres, structured query language. So second vendor is Splunk, SPL, Splunk processing language. Azure Sentinel, it is called KQL, Kusto query language. And if it is Exabeam, SQL, so structured query language. If it is Wiz, Wiz is one of the CN. Okay, I don't keep Wiz, it's fine. RSA, SQL, and next one is McAfee, SQL, and logarithm, SQL, and so on. So now you should know about these languages also. Interview question this one. Whatever in the resume you are keeping, so compulsory they'll expect, do you have the query languages knowledge or not? But what is advantage out of all these and which one is dangerous? Solutions basically. Splunk, Azure Sentinel, Exabeam, these three. So these three vendors compulsory, you need to know how to write a query. But remaining vendors, you no need to write any queries. especially Splunk, Azure Sentinel, and Exabeam. And one more tool name is called ELK, Securonics. These 5 vendors need how to write a query also. But remaining IBM Curator is very user friendly, very, very simple and straightforward. That's why everybody likes IBM Curator. Even logarithm also very, very simple and very straightforward. There is no need to write any query. There is no need to remember any query. Most of the people fail in the Azure Sentinel interview. The reason behind this one is they don't know how to write a query. Because we have more than 300 queries. Will you remember 300 queries? Not exactly. So at the time of the after joining any company also, they will provide everything in Excel sheet. Everything they'll provide in log tech like a document. We have to copy paste. But at the time of the interview, they'll ask, do you know how to write queries? You have to give 1 or 2 examples also. Okay, so this is the way how the interviews will be. That one I'm going to discuss about in-depth analysis once we are going to SIEM tool architecture diagram. But you can remember this one so far. So example UST Global and also Capgemini, and one more company name is called as yeah, mainly these 2 companies. They will ask IBM query, what is the backend database? Backend database is AQL database and PGSQL database. Okay, so these are like databases also, because query languages where we can use the queries, it is mainly for the to store the data, like insert table into or update table into, delete the table into. Okay, so these once again I'm going to discuss once we are going to the our SIEM tools architecture diagram. That will take another maybe 3 to 4 classes, not now. After 3 or 4 classes, I'm going to start about SIEM tool architecture diagram. Those places I will explain about all these. But so far you can remember this one. So out of all these now, Sentinel and also Splunk and Exabeam is required completely query language. Along with this one, I said 2 more, ELK. ELK also required query language, that is called SQL. And also Securonics, that they also need SQL queries. And remaining all other vendors, there is no need to write any queries. So that's why most of the people will fear to attend the interviews from these 3 and also these 2. Okay, but they will not ask like okay, 300 queries you can write in the 30 minutes of the interview. They will give 1 or 2 queries and you have to explain that query. Okay, so that's all for today. I did not complete remaining. I completed only 2 definitions. One is called aggregation querying part, and we do have another, I think 4 important definitions. Not only just 4, it will take another maybe, as I said, in a week I can complete all the definitions. It will take another week to complete all these definitions itself. But as I said, each and every topic, whatever I'm discussing from past 2 days, every topic is like interview question. You should not even skip one single topic also. Okay. Today also interview question for Splunk. Do you know how to write Splunk? Okay. And today interview question once again. What are the examples of the WAF logs? Candidate did not explain. What are the different types of logs are generated by WAF? And that person has already practical experience 7+, but he is not able to answer what is the different types of logs are generating by WAF. What are the different types of logs are generating by our EDR? Okay, so this is the way how the theoretical and versus practical. Okay. Anyways, that is different story. Do you have any questions, guys? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, guys, then, and I forgot to show once again, couple of people are asking in the chat or personal. So whatever videos from yesterday I'm creating, I created one of the folder name is called as
Security 3 something.
security 3 only, yeah, cyber security.
Yes.
So under cyber security, I'm uploading all the videos. Please go and read all these videos. Give me another 1 hour. I can go and I can upload today video as well. Is it
Okay,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
guys,
this is
then
not
thank.
yesterday's class, sir.
Sorry.
You have uploaded one recording, sir. That
Yeah.
is not yesterday's class. That is day before yesterday's class.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay, fine. I can upload yesterday class. Sorry, I forgot. Maybe mistakenly I have done. I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me another maybe 10 minutes. I can upload that one as well.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys, then thank you so much and see you tomorrow at same time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.